All right, so welcome in to our first attempt at a podcast that we have discussed for a while now, and we're calling it what are we calling it again?
Let's talk about stuff. I think.
We're talking stuff.
Let's talk about stuff.
So we're talking. It's called Let's Talk About Stuff, and it's things that
Weird
things that husband and wives talk about.
Weird things that married couples talk about.
Yes, and I am the de facto host, John North.
And I am his better half, Samantha North.
Yes, and so we've been kind of talking back and forth on. We come up with this idea a while ago where we would just kind of sit down and talk and have a podcast where we can just kind of have fun and talk about stuff. And
Yeah.
that's exactly, and I think it gives us a chance to we're both very creative people.
Yeah, and we're both very busy people, so it's very rare that we actually get to sit down and talk about stuff because we're kind of on different schedules. I work mostly during the day and early evening, and John works a lot of evenings and late nights, so our schedules don't really match up to where we can just sit down and talk about stuff.
So this is what we're gonna try to do it at least once a week, where we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk. I don't want to get into introducing ourselves or anything because I think everyone who listens to this is gonna know who we are. So I'm not gonna go into background and that sort of thing, and we're just gonna try to jump right into it.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about stuff.
It is, and we hope that you guys will sit down and listen to us talk about stuff and maybe comment and
if you have
whatever.
stuff you want us to talk about, then maybe we can talk about your stuff because there's always lots of stuff to talk about.
Or you can come on our podcast.
Yeah, we're totally down with having other people come.
We'll have guests. I'm sure occasionally we'll have cats, as we own 2 cats, Sif and Nova. So I'm sure that they'll be popping up every now and again.
They're very curious about what Mom and Dad are doing right now.
This isn't my first podcast experience. I actually had one, the Dave Show featuring John, throughout college, which you made a couple of appearances on.
I did. I would usually bring you snacks in the little blue bowls that I had when I lived in that apartment.
You would make me chicken Alfredo a lot.
Yep, a lot of chicken Alfredo.
Some cereal every now and then.
A lot of cereal, yeah.
Yeah,
always in the little green bowl.
Dave said that I'm breaching contract by being on this podcast because he has me under contract.
Did you ever actually sign a contract?
He said it was a verbal contract.
I don't think that's true.
But nonetheless, so here we are. I think Sam will quickly, now that she's thrown on the headset, she'll quickly realize how hard it is to actually fill time for something.
Yeah,
because usually you're a teacher and you have you can give your spiel and then you can give the students work. But when you're on a podcast, you can't have dead air and stuff, so you just got to keep talking forever. And I have experience, obviously, in radio and broadcasting, not to brag, but...
Well, you would be surprised, though, because if you give the kids dead air, if you give them time to just sit and work, a lot of the time that doesn't exactly happen the way you planned it to. If you give them something and you're like, all right, go to it, get to work, sometimes that doesn't happen.
I would love if you were my teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're such a pushover.
I'm not.
You're such a pushover.
I'm not a pushover.
I would run all over you.
No, I'm very strict.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very, very strict.
I've said it in our classes before, so.
You have not.
I know how it goes. So, so basically we'll talk about stuff, and more importantly, we're going to do a top 5 every week, kind of like our list of whatever we've got. And what are we doing this week? We're not going to do it right now, but what are we doing?
Our top 5 funniest/funnest moments that we've had since we've been married, which is a little over a year now.
Yeah, and I think spinning off that, I know everyone. What's shocked me about being married is everyone talks about how hard it is to be married, and this has been the best year of my life.
Yeah, it's not
to be sappy,
but it really has been. It's so much fun being married. Everyone likes to talk about. Hello, Sippy.
There's a cat up here.
Yeah, hers is very interested. But everyone likes to talk about all the hard stuff. Your first year is the hardest. Well, if that was the hardest, then I'm pretty excited about the rest of it because it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been great, and I know everyone says that, and everyone I don't know. It's been really easy for me. I guess because we've known each other so long, and I think that has something to do with it. And we've spent a lot of time together, so it wasn't but this is the first time we'd actually moved in together.
Yeah,
so we've been together.
8 years.
Yeah,
well,
and
7 years, I guess.
7 years, and we actually hadn't lived together,
Yeah.
so it was kind of an experiment, but I mean, it worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, there was really not a transition period. I mean,
Literally,
we both,
the toughest time we had was getting the cats to get along.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, that was the hardest transition, was making the cats not want to kill each other, and that was a rough transition.
It was. You're right. So I guess to get started, we'll just get rid of the elephant in the room, so we won't have to talk about it anymore. And I think that's the presidential election. As much
Do we have
as
to?
I think we need to just touch on it and go, because it's gonna, like, if we're gonna talk about stuff, that is literally everything that's dominating the news.
Yeah, I guess.
So I know people had said to not talk about politics or the election.
Can we get back to politics, please? Yo. Sorry,
What's
that's from
that?
Hamilton.
Oh,
You should know that.
I didn't know it. I'm sorry.
That's the only
Regardless,
politics I want to talk about.
Nobody else listening to this will get that either. So
Well,
great reference.
You guys
Sam.
suck, because it's the best thing.
So already
ever.
strike one.
No.
Doing inside jokes and stuff that
It's
are
How is that an inside joke? It's
not
from
one
a very
person
popular.
is going to get it.
It's a very popular musical.
Not one person has listened to that musical or know what that
Bet
musical is.
me.
It's listen. I
Bet
will
me.
bet you.
Bet me.
Bet.
What you gonna bet?
I don't know, but if you know what Sam was referencing, which is the musical Hamilton, comment on one of our posts and you win a prize.
Yeah, the prize of me beating John in this bet.
Because there's definitely nobody that's listened to any of it.
Whatever.
Or watched it. It's very niche.
Anyway,
it's a very niche audience. It would be like me
Niche
bringing
audience.
up. It'd be like me bringing up like wrestling.
No,
Yeah.
it's like the biggest thing in musicals and
It's
in
okay.
theater.
Hey, it's okay. You're a rookie at this. That's cool.
Don't
We'll let
Don't even.
we'll let that slide.
You're good.
So anyway, the presidential election is going on.
Yeah.
I think we'll just cover it. I don't want to tell anyone who I'm voting for because I honestly don't know, and it's literally less than a month away, and I don't know.
Which
who I'm voting
surprised the heck out of me. Like I looked at John the other day and like I realized, holy crap, the election's in November.
for. Yeah.
And
You actually asked me if it was this November. You said, "Wait, is the election this November?"
like, I don't know if time just got away from me. I just kind of feel like it's still like April or something. I don't know, man, but it snuck up on me that this is really about to happen. This is what we have, and this is what's about to happen.
I think to sum it up pretty well is I'm really excited for it all to be over.
I'm not excited for anything that's coming in our future.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it to be over.
Excited is not the word that I would use
I
to
get
describe.
on Facebook and constantly scroll down my news feed, and I see fake article after fake article, and and every now and then, like, I'll comment on it, and then I'll write this whole big thing out, and then I'll just delete it.
Yeah, I just can't even. I can't look at Facebook anymore and not get angry, so I just don't.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing about the election is I can't wait till it's over. I can't wait till somebody is in office. That way it won't even be talked about. Because, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing for people like us and us listening, like, we can act like the presidential election is important all we want, but it doesn't matter to us as much as we like to think.
No, we
Especially
like to
in
think that
Kentucky.
everything's, whoever comes in is going to change, bring all these great changes, but I mean,
It doesn't matter.
no,
which
because
one is in.
everything, if somebody's for it, somebody else is going to be opposing it. So it's just not gonna. No. It's not.
It's nothing that's
doesn't
gonna. No matter who gets in, no matter which side you're on. I mean, what matters to us is your local elections. That's what matters.
Yep.
Who is your senator? Who is your governor? Who is your state representatives? Who is your judge, executive in the county? Who is your mayor in the county? That's what matters to us. And I think people, if people would get that much into local politics as
We
they like
might
to
be
get
pretty
in,
good, yeah.
as they get into the presidential election and sharing memes that that they found on whatever inyourface.com or whatever it's called, then I think we'd be a lot better off, and that's my opinion on it because
I mean, we had, what was it, like 30% of Kentucky come out in this last election for governor.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And if you want to get on Facebook and share your awesome opinions about the presidential election, then dang it, do it for the local elections
Yeah.
because those matter so much more for us.
Especially for us. Especially
Yeah.
for us. That's what matters the most. I mean, party affiliations aside, I mean, get out and vote for your local people and get on fire for your local people like you do like you're sharing those Hillary and Donald memes.
Yeah.
Because that matters a lot more to us here in Kentucky. So that's kind of I guess that's your lesson for today.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I like local politics. I get involved in local politics. I like to stay up front about the election, so I watch the debates, but that's about as far as it goes. I don't get on. I don't care about either candidate. I don't get on fire for anybody. So yeah, that's basically it. And I think that's presidential election talk, and then we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, can we be done with that now?
Yeah, because I mean it's going to be one or the other. So
Yep, somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose.
Everyone buckle in.
Somebody's not gonna be happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody buckle in, and a strong. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Donald Trump wins Kentucky.
Oh, that's not a limb at all. That is
big limb.
That is not. That's
Climbing
a
out on
branch.
limb. But yeah, that's my advice to everyone. Quit. I mean, it's okay to support your candidate, no matter who you're supporting. I'm all for it. I don't care if you're voting for Donald. I don't care if you're voting for him or Hillary. Do it and be on fire about it. But definitely get involved in your local elections, especially if you're younger and listen to this podcast. And I know a lot of people were kind of set on fire by Bernie Sanders, and they kind of got into politics because of Bernie. And I would say, keep that going with your local stuff, because the stuff that Bernie Sanders is doing, you could definitely start doing in your local.
That?
I don't think anybody could hear that, but
That really
Nova
scary.
tried to climb in a bag. But I mean, the fire that he kind of set, you can keep that going. I think in your local community, you can make a bigger difference in your local community than you think so.
I think so too.
So moving right along. Our next topic that we come up with, I think, is very interesting. And I only have like one example of this, but we may have more as we talk. But I think it's like the things that people find acceptable to talk to married couples.
Yeah,
about
like
now.
all of a sudden when we got married, like people just started talking to us about things that was not nobody talked about before then. Like
It's kind of taboo.
yeah,
right
like
now.
as soon as we got married, it was like, all right, when you having kids? Like not even a day.
Yeah.
And it was already asked about that. And we'd been together for like 7 years, and never until then had that ever been brought up. And then like when they find out, hey, yeah, we are trying to have kids. Just get that get out there in the open. Well, people think it's totally okay to be like, how's that going? Like, obviously unsuccessfully, but thank you for your interest in our child making.
Yeah, it's really weird that all of a sudden, like, it's just people, like, it's just such a fine line. When you get, like, after you get married, like, it's who cares? It's like it's literally like talking about the weather now.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, it was weird. It would have been weird before, and it's still weird now.
Well, it would be cringy before, and now it's just like when people ask you, it's like they're asking you if you're going to Walmart later. Or,
yeah, like, oh, you gonna make a baby tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna go get some bread today?
Yeah, like it's unbelievable.
It's weird.
It's really weird. That's definitely
Stop
one
it.
thing. Can you think of any more off the top of your head? That's definitely a big one.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. I mean, just from like overnight, people not mentioning anything of the baby making capabilities
Process.
the process, to all of a sudden being like, oh, like friends that I've had for a long time that are super like very religious, very like don't talk about those things, like I'm gonna have a baby now.
Yeah,
and it's weird. Stop it, it's weird. Don't like it.
We don't like it. So
Stop
yeah,
it.
I just wanted to. I thought that was really funny because
Yeah.
we kind of talked about
Yeah,
that before.
that goes right along with stuff, weird things, weird stuff married people talk about, because it's weird stuff that you talk to married people about, and you don't. Like, stop it. We
Don't do that.
We don't want to talk about that.
Guess how many minutes we're in on this podcast?
How many?
Guess.
8.
15.
Hot dang.
Good job.
Yeah.
Doing really good. I'm
High
proud of
five.
you. I thought you may get like 5 minutes in and be like, well, what do we talk about
Listen,
now?
even though you talk for a living, I also talk for a living. Like,
I will say this too, and I think I don't take this the wrong way, but I can definitely tell your accent.
no.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'm not stuttering. I have a pretty strong stutter when I get really talking about things, and so I have to really watch to keep my stutter to a minimum and
So
keep it under control.
some more stuff that we're going to talk about
Stuff.
is you and I have this weird thing where when we have weird dreams a lot. And
Now,
here's,
I am a very...
Let me finish first before you cut me off. So you have these stupid dreams, and
I have these stupid
let
dreams.
me finish, and then you want to tell me about them, and I legitimately could not care any about your dreams because it's a dream.
Yep.
So you always tell me about your dreams, and they're always like, you were in this, I don't know, riding a purple cow through whatever, and I'm like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day, I had a dream that you broke up with me, and
that's a very weird thing to say now, because breaking up at this point is a little more complicated. Like, we can't just be like, I'm not dating you anymore. We're broke up. Like, that's not how this can happen anymore. But carry on. Go ahead.
Are you really going to have your phone on while
it has the list on it?
You're supposed to put it on silent.
Well, excuse me.
Wow.
Rookie mistake, man.
Can't believe it. You've ruined the podcast. I gotta start over.
I've ruined it. I've soiled it.
So, yeah, I had that dream, and then I messaged you while you were at work, and I was...
Not once did he just message me and be like, you broke up with me. It was like every time I would be like, hey babe, you broke up with me. Over and over for the entire day. Like, he generally wakes up around 10-ish, goes into work, 9:30, 10. Well, this was like at like 8:30 that morning. And he started messaging me that, like, over and over. And, like, my dreams, I have very, like, active dreams. I've always dreamed a lot. I've always been able to, like, it's called lucid dreaming. Like, if there's something scary happening in my dream, I can usually change it. And so I always like to tell John about my weird dreams, and he never would cooperate. Like, he would never, if Dream John did something mean in my dream, he was not having it. He's like, Sam, that's stupid. Well, as soon as real John had a dream about Dream Sam doing something, it was the end of the world. You broke up with me. That's not.
I thought it was really funny, though.
I thought it was funny, too, because of all the times that I've had these real dreams, these, like, super active, lifelike dreams, and I've told you about it, like, you wasn't having it. And now that you did it, you just want to talk about it all the time.
But your dreams really are like, I don't care about them. But
well, I don't care about your dreams either.
I understand a little bit more now.
Do you? Now that you've had one, and that it sucks because you wake up and whatever, riding your purple cow or whatever.
You broke up with me and you left me at Shamrock Coal Company. I don't know what symbolic that is or symbolism that is.
What symbolic that is.
I don't know what kind of symbolism that is, but I just thought that was really funny that I'd given you grief for so long.
For
and
years and years, not even so long, years.
I had a very vivid dream, and I immediately woke up and messaged you about it.
Yeah,
so.
Not just once.
So that was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we can move on to our top 5.
Yeah.
Because we're about 18 minutes in, 19. So
awesome.
We always want to keep this between 15 and 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Because
y'all don't want to listen to us longer than that.
No, especially if you listen to my broadcast, which nobody does on here, but. Regardless. Especially Sam. She never listens.
Listen, when he first started doing this, I listened to him religiously. I listened to the Football Roundup show. And if you ever listen to the Football Roundup
show... It's a really good show, folks.
It's not fun to listen to.
It's a really good show.
Because it's like the host, and they're talking about, like, Friday Night Football. And at the time, I wasn't, like, paying attention to any teams because I didn't work at a school that had... high school football. So
why don't you tell her about how you pretended to like football just to kind of...
No, I'm telling a story. So, anyway, I don't care about high school football right now. And so I listen to him every night religiously to this stupid Football Roundup show to where he calls in, like, maybe 1/16 of the show is Jon calling in from a cell phone that's very garbled and hard to hear, and then I listen to the other people talk about Friday Night Football, which I don't care about. So don't give me that crap about not listening to you. I paid my dues. I did my time.
Well, I'm just saying, if you had a football show, I'd listen to you.
Would you?
Yep.
Because you like football.
Spiked out there a little bit, so cool it there, Space Ranger.
Space Ranger.
So let's move into our top 5.
Okay, our top
for the
5.
Day. This is our top 5 for the week.
Yeah, this is our top 5 funnest/funniest moments.
What do we we're going to call our top 5? Didn't we have a name for it?
Sam's 5 and Jon's 5, I thought.
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, you know what? You guys get to name it. What's our top 5 going to be called?
Yeah, and it can't be Mount Rushmore or Power Rankings because that's already taken.
Okay, so you guys can come up with what you want our top 5 to be called.
Anyway, go ahead. Wait, does Mount Rushmore only have how many does Mount Rushmore
4.
have? Okay.
There are 4 hits on Mount Rushmore.
You can put
Jon.
I've been there before. You can put
I've been there before too.
You can put an extra head on it though occasionally. Eventually they will.
Okay, so do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
At least I didn't even write any down.
I wrote my 5 down.
All right, so let first give me your top. Give me your 5.
No, I want to talk about.
I know. Give me
my number 5.
Give me your number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 started when we weren't married and continued into when we were married, and that's how dogs follow us home all the time. Whenever we walk, dogs just follow us. Like, it doesn't matter where we are. A random dog just comes up and just starts following us home.
Yep.
And there was one time it was when Jon lived in his apartment in Barberville. And we just got home from a walk, and Jon walks up the stairs, and he squeals. Like, I can't even make the noise on here because I'll spike it out. But it can be described as a squeal. And he says, "Sam, there's a giant dog up here." And that was, it was edited for our audience because that was not the exact words that he said. Essentially, there's a giant white dog at the top of the stairs with Jon, and he turns on the light, and there he is, just panting up there, happy.
Well, I came up, the lights were turned off, so when I came up the stairs, like, it was dark, and I could just, like, feel a presence up there with me, and it turned out to be a dog, and it scared the living daylights out of me.
And this was the dog that me and our friend Bridget, we had gone walking a couple days before that, and it's a big, giant white dog, and so we named it Ghost. So if any of you watch Game of Thrones, then you'll get that reference. But it was Ghost. He came back, just chilling at the top of the stairs.
All right, my number 5, and I'm just calling it in the ring here. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But my number 5 is our wedding night. But not for what people may think.
Not the baby making that y'all dirties got in your head as soon as we got married.
So we came home with a ton of food.
An entire pie.
And an entire lemon meringue pie. And we laid in bed and we watched Pitch Perfect. And we just ate everything.
We ate pie, and my mom had made us like a plate because, like, what you guys don't understand, if you're not married, your wedding, everybody just wants to love on you. Like, everybody is there, and they all just want to love you, and it's just the happiest time. Like, of course it's happy because, like, you're marrying your soulmate or whatever. Like, yeah, that was happy, but there's everybody there. Everybody is not ever going to be together in that way ever again.
You don't get to eat.
No.
You don't get to eat.
There's no time for food. Like, my mom made me this giant plate, and I got to pick at it, and I didn't even get to eat it.
Not to mention that, but we also had lost a combined 110 pounds leading up. So we were both.
Yep.
We were both like we had deprived ourselves.
Yeah,
so
when
we got home, we pigged out, and it was awesome.
It was the best thing. We ate an entire pie. We ate all of the leftovers from the wedding, and there was a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
All right, what's your number
4? My number 4 is, okay, in our new house, we got a house built, and we have this beautiful hardwood floor, and it was one of our favorite games, and still is one of our favorite games, to chase each other through the house, because we have all this space in our house.
We have a joke that we're essentially 12-year-olds who own a
Yeah,
house.
so like when on our Snapchat stories all the time, it's when 12-year-olds own a house.
Yep.
And that's pretty accurate. And so we have all this space because this was before we had a dining room table. This was before we had like a big chair in the living room. We had all this free space. So we would just chase each other through the house. Well, on our beautiful, nice hardwood floor, one day, John tried to, I guess, go one way and then go the other. And his feet slid out from under him like he was on Looney Tunes. It was the funniest thing.
It was awful.
Oh, and he just laid there and rolled on the ground.
I'm sure I don't want to do this to you because I'm going to steal one of yours.
Okay.
But I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about it because it's my number 4, and I assume it's going to be on yours too, which is our massive water fight.
Yes, it is on mine. That's my number 2.
I forget what we were doing. I may have been cleaning out the kitty's litter box or something.
Maybe it was something with
Regardless,
the water hose.
it turned into a massive water fight that lasted at least 30 minutes. I was soaked. You were soaked. It seems like you'd been mad about something before that or
Probably.
something. So we got in a massive water fight, and that one was awesome. But
that was.
what's your number 3?
My number 3 is, it happened recently actually. John's friend Justin gave him this big, awesome round chair from his house. And so the plan was I had just, me and my coach, assistant coach, had been kind of fixing up our volleyball locker room. And so we were looking for like big beanbag chairs to put in the locker room. Well, John got this chair and the idea that we would put it in the locker room. Well, he gets it home. I'm like, John, I like that chair.
I was like, this chair is so comfortable.
I think it looked good in the living room. And so this is literally at midnight. This is happening. Like, I'm about to go to bed. And I'm like, I think we should put that chair in the living room. And so we did. We're rolling the chair out of the back of his truck into the front of the door, trying to keep the cats inside because they try to flee and they want to be outside cats, but they can't be. And so we're rolling this big chair into the living room and then trying to move while simultaneously trying to move his recliner into his man cave and then trying to move his big beanbag chair into my car, which, like, there's no way for me to describe this beanbag chair to you except that it's like a mattress beanbag chair on a frame. Like, it's huge.
It's essentially a love seat.
Yeah, it's called a love sack. And it's huge, and it's like a giant love seat, yeah. And so we're trying to, all three at once, bring the round chair into the living room, put the recliner into his room, and put the beanbag chair into my car. And so it was just really funny, because it was all happening at midnight.
What are we on, 3?
Yeah, that was my number 3. And you took my number 2, which was the water fight. So you have 2 more, and I have 1 more.
So my third one is when you were, because you're the handy person of the house. Mm-hmm. I'm useless when it comes to nailing, screwing, hitting things, whatever. I'll just tear it up.
Putting things together.
Painting, putting things together. I did put together that cat tree over
there.
You do.
It's a little wobbly, but it's pretty good.
Okay, that's not my fault. So, take it back.
I take it back. I'm real sorry.
So one night when we had just moved in, you were trying to put in all of the like toilet paper rolls and the towel racks, and you were just getting so mad. And I remember going in to ask you something, and you just like it was like you turned on me and just kind of looked at me real hateful, and I was just like real gentle around you the rest of the night and real careful about what I asked you, like you were like I was walking on eggshells, and that always sticks with me, and I just think it's really funny.
I forgot about that.
Yes, you got so mad, and I had to do that.
Let me just say how hard it is to put freaking towel racks into the wall, because you have to like screw them in there, and then there was this tiny little what's it called, screwdriver that I didn't know I had. Oh, I was in a very bad mood that night.
All right, what's your number 1 then?
No, you got to do your number 2, and then I'll give my number 1.
I don't have a number 2.
How do you not have a number 2?
All right, my number 2 is, because I didn't write anything down. I was just going to go, I was just winging it here. My number 2 is when we make a purchase, and we're kind of like guilty about it. Like when you bought the Roomba. Because because we're always like, I may have did something bad.
Okay, yeah.
And then we just we kind of whisper it to each other when we do, or like if we're texting, it's like we don't want to tell each other. We don't want to admit what we just did.
Because it really is like we're kids that own a house now, and we're responsible for all these things. Like, we're responsible for these 2 little kitty lives. We're responsible for cleaning and paying bills and stuff. And so when we like buy things or do things that aren't supposed to be like adult-like, or I don't know how to describe it. Like, we're like, John, I did something bad.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And you're like, I bought a Roomba.
Or
I'm like, I bought another wrestling T-shirt, or like,
Because literally, John, the only thing John spends money on, like, I'm really good with money, and John's really good with money too. But like, I spend money on the craziest stuff, and John spends money on wrestling shirts.
That's it.
And that's about it.
Like, going to wrestling and wrestling shirts and wrestling merch. That's it.
Yep.
That's the only thing that makes me happy anymore. Besides, I guess, like, what should I say?
I would hope.
No, how should I put material thing? That's the only
gotcha.
material thing that makes me happy anymore.
I get you.
Because I don't get to really go to UK games or anything like that. But that's my 2. Now, what's your 1?
Okay, my number 1 is the night the frogs came.
Oh, God.
It started with the cats. So they were looking outside, and we go outside to see what they're looking at, and there's a frog on the door. And so I'm like, oh my God, John, there's a frog.
I never knew that you were obsessed with frogs until we moved in this house.
I just love frogs.
And now, like, every now and then, like, when it gets kind of warm outside, but I don't know if the outside of the house is like, so it sweats and it's condensation on like and for whatever reason the frogs like to climb up on the side of the house. And you're like, you want to bring them into the house, and I'm like, they'll last 2 minutes with the cats.
There was just so many that day. There was like, I think we counted them. There were 6.
Yeah,
six frogs on the outside of the house.
Like 3 of them.
Yeah, we had Kermit.
You dropped one.
I didn't hurt it though.
You almost did.
I really did thought I heard it, and that hurt my feelings so bad. It was a toad. He was a big frog. He was real big, and I just wanted to hold him, and he hopped away, and he kind of smacked his head on the ground.
But anyway, yeah, I never knew Sam was so obsessed with frogs until recently.
I just love everything. I love animals, and I just love frogs.
And I just didn't know that you were because you freak out when a frog comes.
I just love them.
I freak out when our neighbor cat Jewel comes over.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
I just love frogs, and they're so like slimy and sticky, and I just love them.
Moving right along here, my number 1 is when you had, when you had all your kids over from Pineville.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
I almost put that in my top 1, and I didn't.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it felt like it was like one of our first big things we ever had.
It was kind of like we had like Thanksgiving and stuff here, but it felt like
it felt like. I don't know, and they all had a good time, and you could tell like they loved hanging out here, and we had a bonfire, and we hit the shuttlecock on top of the roof,
and had to climb up and get it. So this was my AP seniors, and so
I walked in, and like a group of them was talking about like Calvinism, and like it was crazy. It was all over the place.
Like they were the best kids, and they all year they're like, we're gonna come to your house and have a cookout. I'm like, all right. And so for the end of the year, we finally did, and there was so much food, and we had so much fun, and I miss them kids.
It was a good time.
It was.
So that was our.
It was really funny, 'cause Shane, did I drop the marshmallow on her lap or something like that?
I don't remember. I must have been inside.
We were trying to take a
picture.
We were trying to take a picture, and I'm pretty sure I dropped my marshmallow like on Shane's head or in Shane's lap or something. Oh, that was really fun.
Yeah, so that's our top 5 for the week. And I think that's going to do it because I know we had one more thing.
Our air of grievances.
We're already in. That's going to take another 15 minutes, and we're already 33. So we'll save that for next week.
Okay.
Next week we'll have an airing of grievances with one another, and talk about what funny stuff or stuff that we get on each other's nerves with. Because I have a lot of those.
Oh, do you?
So I can't, it'll take me a while for us to argue about that. So we'll say that for next week. Also next week we're going to talk about, I guess we'll do our 5 favorite, like, festival foods.
Yeah.
We'll do that because the DBF is in town.
DBF.
By the time this airs, I'm pretty sure that DBF will be in full swing.
Gosh, I'm so excited.
So we'll have that coming up for you, and then that'll be our top 5, and then we'll have some other kind of topics, but
Yeah.
Felt
Anything,
like
any kind of stuff you guys want us to talk about, just
yeah.
comment on it.
Yeah, and for those who made it all the way through these 35 minutes, we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And anything else before we get out of here?
Nope.
That's going to do it. So I guess join us next week
Yeah.
when we talk about stuff.